argument on Q times debate. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Peter.
Thank you very much for the question. It's a pleasure to be here in Thailand with you, and also not only this topic. It's very not inspiring, and I hope we can enjoy this talk during these 20 minutes. We talk about the history, we will try to read the history of the digital invention, of this idea that some people have more than 150 years ago to have a measuring system for all times, for all people, and how this endeavor now is dealing with the new challenges of the society like the digital transformation. As I said you before, this is a very special day for metrology, a special year for metrology because we are celebrating the 150th anniversary of the intervention of the establishment of the CIPM and all this infrastructure that we will do today. And this metrology begins many years ago with humankind because when men tried, they have to train, have to build monuments like the Egyptians, they have to have measuring standards and to develop the basis for the measure in trade, for instance. So ancient civilization developed mass standards like in Babylon or in Egypt or in Pompeii. You can see today's the old standard to measure volume of liquids, and also in Egypt they use length standard to build the monuments that they have such amazing perfection still more than 5,000 years ago. But this development of standards is different in each kingdom, and also within each kingdom, it was different in each city and each small town. And this is that we will call a bit possible. Nowadays, we will call it a very important technical value. No? In France, in the 18th century, it was estimated that they have more than 250 southern units of measurement just in France. And this is a very high value to develop trade when also the industry was developing. We were facing at those years the industrial revolution. So during those days, the Academy of Science of France decided that they should foster the introduction of a new system of unit, decimal system, because people in the French Revolution loved the decimal system. You know, they divided the years, the year in 10 months, the days, and 2.5 days of 10 hours, the hour, in 100 minutes. They try to divide everything on them, and also they try to they propose to make a system of unit-based decimal system, and which all the units are based in the meter, in the depth. And they have a long discussion how they will define the unit of length. And finally, they decided to base the unit of length, one measure, a particular measure of the blood of the earth. You know, this is the idea behind this is that we should base the units of measurements in something that is permanent, that it will last forever. So they decided the measure of the earth is something that wouldn't change, and they decided to define the meter as one fraction of the quarter of an earth meridian, which meridian, of course, the meridian that passes through Paris. And they actually measure it. They make this complicated calculation, and they charge to important scientists that are there on the side to make this measurement during the years of the revolution. They have a lot of problems. They are very interested in books how they make these measurements. And they decided also to base the mass unit per kilogram in the measure in the liter as 1 cubic decimeter of water at 4 Celsius, that is as a function of the liter. And after they make this measure, they make 2 artifacts in platinum, and they one for the kilogram, another for the liter, and they deposited them in the National Archives at the end of the 18th century. And they also cast this famous medal, which you can see the World of Commerce measuring the meridian, and also the justice clothing kilogram and the liter, and with this famous phrase, "Across the spends and across the peoples for all time, for all peoples." So they propose to be the measuring system for all times, for all peoples. Some years later, the Emperor of France proposed to all the countries in the world to come to an agreement to use the metric system worldwide. And they invited to create a commission in 1872 to discuss how to achieve this goal. And finally, in 1875, 17 countries, these countries that you can see here, where they signed the Meter Convention, that is an agreement to act together in all issues related to units. This was the establishment of the Meter Convention and the worldwide agreement to use the electricity. Thailand became member state, signed the convention more than a century ago, 1912. So it was also among the first countries to sign the Meter Convention. The Meter Convention is written in French, but here we have a translation to English for the first 3 articles. The first one is the decision to create a scientific and permanent international group for weights and measures with headquarters in Paris, to Vietnam. The second is a compromise of France to provide a place and building to establish these laboratories. And the Article 3 is the creation of the structure of the Meter Convention. The Meter Convention, the Bureau will operate under the direction of supervision of the International Committee of Weight and Measure, the CIPM. Itself placed under the authority of the General Conference of Weight and Measures. That is the General Assembly, in which all the member states take part in each 4 years. And the General Conference elects the CIPM. This was a building that France gave to the Meter Convention. It was, in those days, it is an historic building, but it was destroyed by the French and Prussian War those years, but they rebuilt it and they built some laboratories. They deposited the prototypes for the kilogram and the meter, in the volt, in the BAPM, and they also built laboratories to calibrate the prototypes that each country has to send to the BAPM in calibrated period. Nowadays, the BAPM looks much better than 150 years ago. The historical building is still there, but there are some other new buildings with new laboratories, with cutting-edge technologies. For instance, we have there a laboratory with the kilo balance, the watt balance, that is the new realization of the kilogram to connect the mass measurements with the Planck constants. Also, very new laboratories for metrology chemistry to make quantitative measurements with nuclear resonance magnets. And also the CIPM looks modern now. No? This is the old CIPM, and this is the CIPM nowadays. You can see some difference. There were no women in the 150 years ago. People look older, I don't know why. It was dressed very formal, more formal than now. And something interesting, they didn't smile. I don't know why. for this 70 original signatories, now more than 100 countries take part of the Liter Convention, 64 members, full members, and 37 associates. And we have also the mutual recognition agreement with more than 250 signatories, NMIs, and also designated institutes. And they declare the calibration and measurement capabilities that are recognized worldwide. And we have in the KCDB, the key comparison database, where you can find the calibration and measurement capabilities recognized worldwide. Now we have more than 26,000 CMCs. This provides the basis for the international recognition of all the quality infrastructures, all the tests, certifications that are made worldwide. To be worldwide recognized, they should be linked to the CMCs, the NMIs, as the comparison database, CIPM. The Liter Convention, the General Conference, began with the establishment of a measurement system based on 3 units, the meter, the kilogram, and the second, that at the 19th century were enough to find all the measurements that are needed, mainly mechanics and energy. But with the evolution of technology, it was necessary to incorporate unit of measurement for electricity, to measure light, and also to measure temperature. So they added in the 20s the ampere as the base units, and also in the 40s the Kelvin and Candela. And in 1960, the name of the system was changed from the metric system because it was no longer just a metric. And the name was changed to the International System of Units. This is called today. The units, the definition of the units evolved with the technology. The meter in the 60s abandoned the definition based on an artifact and moved to the definition based on the wavelength of the radiation of the krypton atom. And afterwards, it was changed also to be based on the speed of light in 1983. Also, new responsibilities were given to the APM. For instance, in 1964, the ionizing radiation activities began to monitor the measurements of ionizing radiation worldwide, and also in 71, the MOL was incorporated into the system as the measurement unit for chemistry, and also the harmonization of time measurements was assigned to the APM in 84. The APM is responsible for the calculation of the UTC. It's a very important activity that also is responsibility of the APM. Finally, in 2018, a big event, a big change in the system was made in the 26th General Conference, when the whole system was changed to be based now not in artifacts, not in the property of materials, but in fundamental concepts of nature, the very basis of science, the Planck constant, the speed of light, the frequency of the session, the charge of the electron, the Boltzmann constant, the Avogadro constant, and the efficiency of light. So now we have a system of units that is based in the numerical value of these constants, which is the same idea that the humans have before, to base the system in something that we are sure, at least for our knowledge, that it won't change. 150 years ago, they thought that the dimension of the Earth won't change, and now we think that the fundamental constants of nature won't change. So we can say that the vision of the meter system was ambitious for all times, for all people. But now we should also have the same ambition for the SI that it should use the latest science, quantum technology to define the units, as mentioned, but also to support the latest needs of the society. What are the latest needs of the society? We can say environment, climate, food safety, health, energy transition, and also the digital transformation of industry and society. So the metrology system, international system of goods, should also face these new challenges that the society is having nowadays. And we know that digital transformation to be trusted with to have confidence, trust on data. And if data are based come from measurements, this data should also have metrology that supports their quality. We can see many publications raising the point that we need quality in data, and quality in data is based on metrology. So in the 27th General Conference in 2022, the conference approved, give to the CIPM the mandate to face these new challenges and to create an horizontal structure within the CIPM to face each of these challenges, climate, health, energy, and also to get the CIPM authority to create a structure to work on digital metrology for the digital transformation. So this was based in the idea that we need a full digital representation of the design through robots and ambiguous and machine actionable digital representations of units of measurement. This is the test of the CIPM resolution. And encourage the CIPM to develop and promote the SI digital framework that will include the following features: the globally accepted digital representation of the SI, to facilitate the use of digital certificates and the adoption of the fair principles. The CIPM began this task, inviting all the organization of the quality infrastructure and science to sign an agreement and a joint statement of intent in which all the organization, ISO, IOC, the International Scientific Commission, etc., undertake to support in a way appropriate to each organization the development, implementation, and promotion of the SI digital framework. So this is very important to work together with the other international organizations to develop the quality infrastructure that is needed for digital transformation. The CIPM created a forum inviting all this organization and all the elements from the member states to advise the CIPM and the development of the digital framework and to organize processes between NMIs, committees, and also the RMOs, the regional metrology organizations, and to act as a forum to exchange information with the other organizations, international organizations of the quality infrastructure that I mentioned before. This forum has 2 meetings. This is the last one in 2000 February this year. The forum created a structure with working groups and task groups. The task groups means with very important topics to this endeavor. For instance, there's a task group on the safe and trustworthy artificial intelligence, one group in methodological semantics, one group that works on data quality and fair practices metrology, one group that works in analyzing digital calibration certificates or digital reference material certificates, and working on the development of the SI digital framework we will see now, and also working groups that works in the harmonization and coordination between consultative committees, digital metrology organization, and one group on strategy. Just to finish, I will mention which is the The idea behind the SI digital framework is already available. In the CIPM web page, you can see the information included in the SI reference point. This is information that is available, machine readable, so the machine can directly access to this information, and in this information you will find the machine, the machine will find the definitions of all the units of the SI, how it is defining the equation, the resolution that approved, defining the equation of each of the units, and also the quantities behind each unit. This is all information that, as I said before, can be accessed in a machine. I invite you to visit it and to see all the information that is available there. They also provide a permanent identifier for each unit and for each quantity that can be also used in digital application. There are many other digital also tools already available in the CIPM, the SI reference point. For instance, each calibration and measurement capability for each NMI has a permanent identifier that the NMI can use in the calibration certificate. So you have for instance, digital calibration certificate that includes the PID for the CNC, the machine can assess the quality of the calibration certificate automatically. So perhaps in the near future, the whole 17025 can be made by the machine. All the information is available machine. So to finish this evolution of the international system of units for the first idea to having a measuring system for all times, for all people, based on the prototypes of the meter and the kilogram. The goal, given the years, to have a system that covers with 7 base units based on 7 fundamental constants that come from the newest science like quantum technology. Is evolving to have a digital SI in which the machine can access to all the information and that could provide the robustness that is needed for quality in the digital world. So thank you very much for your attention.